Welcome to the Game Day Gauntlet, everybody. Week 15 edition on the Virtual Football Network. Jet Monroe and the New Orleans Claws there on the cover. They are at Rochester Day in our second kickoff. Our first kickoff of today, though, is the 13-1 Dakota Rhinos, who have won 10 in a row. They take on the league's worst record, the Vegas Devils, at 3-11. That kicks us off. Can the Devils pull the upset, or will it be all Dakota? I think Dakota's the heavy favorites in that one, obviously. Another 3-11 team in action, Minnesota. They try to turn the tide against Wichita. The Flyers have lost 4 in a row. They are still in 5th place in the top-heavy East at this point. They're trying to catch Chicago, who will play in the last game of the week, or of the afternoon, at Salt Lake. 5-9, who had struggled down the stretch but did get a win last week. Can LA pull the upset over St. Louis? They are 7-7 and in a tie with San Diego right now, a virtual tie at least. They are hosting the 11-3 Rivermen, who are in a tie with New York of sorts. They own the head-to-head over the Lightning. Now, the interesting thing about today, of course, all eyes on that New York-Dallas game later with Josh Zirkle and Tyler Falk. Though between those two teams, they are fighting St. Louis for a top 2 spot. Now, St. Louis has the head-to-head over New York. New York could have the head-to-head over Dallas or lose them both. Now, Dallas beat St. Louis, so Dallas could have the head-to-head over both. So a lot on the line there. Dakota is comfortably ahead in the West. They are going to be the number 1 seed. Vegas is trying to get to a potential first-round home playoff game, but they've fallen 2 games back to Salt Lake with 2 to go. They would need Vegas, or they would need a win today and a Salt Lake loss to hang around in that confrontation, because the Devils and the Hornets, I do believe, play next week, and that could decide who has... Yeah, Vegas at Salt Lake next week. That could decide who has home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs in the West. For now, they've got to, they can't look too far ahead because they got to take on the Dakota Rhinos. Dakota and Vegas comes up next and kicks off our Game Day Gauntlet. We've reached the point of the season where we're on milestone watch. Liam Sykes needs 145 yards for 1,500 on the ground. Jack Nitro needs 85 yards to become the 14th player with 1,000 rushing yards, including Zach Holdorf, who's the only quarterback on the list. At 1,097, we'll see him Monday night. Billy Flagg still needs 174 yards to get 1,000 rushing for the season. Flagg right now, 3,281 passing yards, actually 3rd fewest in the league. Matt Chima's going to start with the football, though, for Vegas. Going to dump it off to Jack Nitro in the flats, makes a man miss and picks up 3. Let's see, what else do we got? Mac Chima, 3,608, needs 392 yards for a 4,000-yard passing season. 6 quarterbacks have hit that mark so far. Ethan Flowers just crossed the 1,000-yard threshold at 1,008 last week. Mike O'Neill needs 148 for 1,000 for himself. 2nd down and 7. Chima going to throw again. That pass over the middle caught for a pickup of 6. It is David Glidden's first catch. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Vegas. We go shotgun here. And it off to Nitro, and he is going to pick up enough for the first down. So Vegas will continue on their opening drive. Colin Northrup in the house. Flashes here. Robert Henson, clutch grab. Doug Day, who I saw rehabbing that knee on social earlier this week. So happy about that. Got Portia in the house. Peter's here. Ray's here. Neil's here. Ernest. Many others. Jack Nitro. Jukin and Jivin picking up 6 yards. Setting up a 2nd down and 4. Good run for Nitro. Cobb's on the tackle. The Dakota defense is number 2 in the league, giving up 16.3 points per game. The 7th best scoring offense. Vegas is the lowest scoring offense at 14.2 points per game, as that one's dumped off into the flat. He'll be short of the first down. Nuke Raiden on the tackle. 3rd down coming up. Charles is here. Tyler's here. Dakota number 1 in the league in sacks, 16 more than any other team at a whopping 74 through 14 games. Vegas, who was number 1 in the league last season in sacks, 4th fewest with 31. Chima on a 3rd down and 4. That is caught over the middle. That's a first down for Vegas. Chima's 4 for 4 for 32 yards to start. That's Ethan Flowers' first catch for 22. And another Vegas first down to the Dakota 42-yard line. Vegas, although has given up the 2nd fewest sacks this season at 26. Meanwhile, Dakota has given up the most sacks at 52, which is surprising. No sacks so far in this one. First down and 10 at the Dakota 42. They'll hand it off. That's not Nitro. That's instead Wright coming in. The backup won't pick up any yards, though. One of the Fisters in on the tackle. 2nd down and 10 with 8.5 to go in the first quarter. High formation here for Chima on 2nd down and 10. Gonna hand it back off to Nitro, who's back into the game. And he swivels for 5. 3rd and 5 coming up for Vegas at the Dakota 37. Raiden another solo tackle to his name. Third down and 5 yards to go. Bunch look off to the left for Chima. Chima going to drop back to pass. He's got Nitro in the flat. Nitro looking for the first down. Tried to make a man miss, but was doubled up by Suki Padre and one other. That'll set up a 4th down and 3 at the Dakota 35, and decision time here for Vegas on their opening drive. A drive that's taken nearly 5 minutes off the clock. Dakota's got that double bye, but who will join them? Will it be Austin, LA, or San Diego? LA plays later this afternoon against St. Louis, and Austin and San Diego play each other on Monday night. Vegas is going to kick the 52-yard field goal. It is good, and 52 and 3, or I should say 3 and over 50 are your first numbers off the board. It took us, we did not have a single over 50 play on the Gauntlet last week. So again, just to talk about the bingo winnings today, you would essentially need 10 across or 10 down on your double cards. So if you've got a horizontal bingo in the second line, you would need a horizontal bingo in the second line of your second card as well. Of course, we've talked about boosts getting back into the store that are sold out for the postseason. So get those points saved up and at the ready for the playoff push. Dakota's going to get their first offensive possession here with 6:57 to go in the first. Billy Flagg is the quarterback for Dakota. Pass is caught by Mike Coco, who had a terrific game last week. It ascended Coco not even into the top 25 of receiving yards per game. Isn't that crazy? Even though he had a top 10 performance, Beaverhausen still leads those totals. Billy Flagg is crushed, and Doug Day gets the catch on the sideline for a first down. That is a gain of 12. Dakota moves the sticks. Keep Flagg in the pocket, says Clutch Grab, and that is certainly what they need to do. So far, so good, but he's off to a 3-for-3 start throwing the football. Flagg averages 59 rushing yards per game. He's got 826 yards, averages 8.7 yards per carry. That's not as good as Zach Holdorf's 10.3. Karen Koizumi right behind them at 7.5. And Matt Wilson at 6.8, but he doesn't run all that much these days. Jupiter Jennings leads the league in yards per carry as a running back with 5.3. Liam Seitz on the carry. He is close to a first down. Robert Henson got his streak killed by Engagerly. That is a bummer. The rushing touchdown leaderboards are pretty fascinating. Payne Price, Jaden Swift, and Chris Allure all at the top with 11 rushing touchdowns. Who's going to win that battle? Passing and receiving touchdowns, Shy Ronnie and Mike Churchill comfortably ahead. This is Billy Flagg. He will check it down, and that pass is caught, and then a face mask on the end of it on a 3rd down and inches. Vegas forcing Dakota to beat him through the air. So far, so good for the Rhinos. They move the ball up to the Vegas 25-yard line. Mavericks at DreamCon. In Houston. What's going on at DreamCon? Hand off to Liam Seitz. He's going to be dropped for a loss. So far, so good in that category for Vegas. That was the tight end Tyler Akins, the tight end 2, that caught that 3rd and inches. Now I'm trying to figure out what DreamCon is too. Handoff, Liam Seitz, and he will get tackled at the 25. I thought he was going to get away, but Cameron Bumpers makes the tackle. A 3rd down and 10. DreamCon unites enthusiasts globally to celebrate gaming, anime, sports, film, music, and pop culture while fostering inclusivity and a sense of belonging. Billy Flagg on 3rd down and 10. This is his first scramble of the day, and Vegas is going to hold him shy of the first down. 4th down and 3 coming up for Dakota at the 18. They'll have a decision to make. Do we got to do semi-formal for the Hall of Fame at the convention? You could do whatever your heart desires, Robert. We don't have a dress code. It's your vacation. It's your fun. Dakota will settle for the field goal. It'll be a 35-yard field goal. And that kick is good, and we're tied at 3. So 35 is off the board. And Vegas holds the Rhinos to 3 points. Our next kickoff here on the Gauntlet today, New Orleans at Rochester, kicks off in about 9 minutes. New Orleans at the bottom of the East, 4-10. They are 2 games back of potentially hosting a first-round playoff game. They would need to catch either Miami or Wichita. Now, New Orleans lost to Miami last week, but they do play Miami again next week, could even up that schedule. The problem is for New Orleans is they're 0-6 against the Eastern Conference, and so they're not going to win very many tiebreakers like that. Wichita, impressively 4-2 against the Eastern Conference so far. They take on Chicago today. Trying to see, get a refresher on New Orleans and Wichita, but things are going a little slow on our end. There we go. New Orleans lost to Wichita 38-16. Lost to Miami 24-26, so it's likely that the Claws are going on the road in the first round, but Rochester's also trying to get that first-round home playoff game. They're just 1 game back of Miami and Wichita, as Nitro sits on top of the pile for a second before officially getting 3 yards. New Orleans, or check that, Rochester at 5-5, the 5th best team in their last 10 games in the Eastern Conference. Play fake for Mac Chima, going over the middle. That is caught by Flowers to the 44-yard line. Mac Chima is 6 of 6 for 49 yards to start. Dakota has the #1 passing defensive efficiency. They've only given up 14 touchdowns this season, fewest in the league, and they've got 19 interceptions, second most in the league. St. Louis, New York, Dallas, San Diego, all teams towards the top of the standings in the top 5 of that pass defense efficiency, but Mac Chima is wheeling and dealing so far today. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. This is Chima, and that is a check down to the 46, but still 7 for 7 for 52 yards. I believe that's Nitro's 3rd catch already, 4th catch for 9 yards. Dakota forced a lot of checkdowns against Phoenix as well. In last week's 24-3 win, a little wheel route down the sideline. Mike O'Neal, 8 of 8 for 65 yards for Mac Chima so far. O'Neal's first catch of the day. Uchia with the tackle. First down to the Dakota 41. Back to the ground game. There goes Nitro, but Suki Padre is there. Pickup of 3 yards, though. This might be the final play of the quarter. Suki Padre with 4 tackles already. Handoff. Nitro, not much there. Got 2 more. Well, 1 more. 3rd and 6. That's the end of the quarter. 3-3. This is just the 2nd drive for Vegas, and we're already into quarter number 2. As we're just getting things rolling on the Game Day Gauntlet. 3rd and 6. Chima is going to be sacked. Rick Kuhn on a corner blitz. Kuhn gets his 2nd sack of the season to go along with 4 picks and 75 tackles. I thought for a moment that Mac Chima was going to get out of it, but Dakota gets their first true stop of the game. Devils will punt it away. This is not the best punt. Fair caught at the 20-yard line. That's where Billy Flagg and Dakota will start their 2nd possession. Playoffs starting Thursday, July 23rd, and then continuing on Sunday, July 26th. Before the convention break here on VFN, Billy Flagg, a corner route to the sideline. Tony Horn, and he was out of bounds, incomplete. Second down, 10 yards to go. Handoff, Liam Seitz makes Landry Williams miss, but still cannot get away from the Vegas defense. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Vegas's run defense is middle of the pack, 8th, giving up 116 yards per game, but they are tied for 3rd, giving up just 4.2 yards per carry. Flagg's pass again to Tony Horn is incomplete, and Vegas forces a 3 and out. Horn was open. Flagg misfires. Billy Flagg, 11th in the league in completion percentage, 66.9. 4th and 9, Dakota. Fair catch called for at the 28. That's where Vegas will start their 3rd possession. So both teams get a field goal on their 1st possession. Both teams force a punt on their 2nd possession. Chima to throw. I believe he's still perfect on the day. Yep, 9 for 9 for 69 yards now. That pass is caught for 4. Vegas certainly staying ahead of the chain so far today. David Glidden with his second grab. Chima's pass is a little off target. That is his first incompletion. Lucky that wasn't intercepted. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Vegas leading Dakota in the total yards department so far, 81-44. Chima will try to convert here. Back to throw. Dakota brought a little pressure. A little Texas route from clutch grab. Did he get the first down? No, they said he's short. And that will force a punt. Raiden with the stop. Is it worth a challenge? Vegas had a couple of close calls last week in the challenge department. Can we see the sticks? Not going to see the sticks. New Orleans started 1-3. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They've improved a little bit. They also have a couple of new players on the roster about to play in their first UFL game. That is Drew Matthews and Devin Matthews for New Orleans. Also new in this game for Dakota is Sky Lord at wide receiver, although not seen a reception yet. New Orleans also recently added Jet Monroe. So as the Claws tried to build some late season momentum, still last in the East. But just a game behind Rochester. They can climb ahead of Rochester if they get the win today. So they would have the head-to-head over the Pioneers at both 5-10. As Liam Seitz gets that carry, not much room there either. Let's head to New York. It's Rochester and New Orleans coming up next on the Gauntlet, and on 3rd down and 8, Billy Flagg tries the corner route again. This time he delivers. That's Mike Coco with his 4th catch for 28 yards. Coco really coming on strong towards the tail end of this season. All white for New Orleans with the double red. All red for Rochester and the white lids. That maroon will stand out for the Claws. Bumpers with a TFL for Vegas. 2nd down and 11 on a little slow counter. And Liam Seitz is buried in the backfield. So out first will be Matt Wilson. 3,562 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. They'll start with a handoff to Casey Mears. Mears has been working her way up the leaderboards. 4th in the league, 33 yards behind Liam Seitz. Seitz in action right now, but back-to-back losses for Seitz on the ground will make it 3rd down and 13. 3 over 50 and 35, your early numbers off the board here on the Gauntlet. Sending Mears in motion way too late, and Rochester will get a penalty. Billy Flagg's pass finally connecting with Tony Horn over the middle. That's a 1st down to the 45-yard line. And another conversion for Dakota through the air. Billy Flagg has only run 1 time in the first half. Great throw. Wilson on a 2nd down and 12. Mears changes direction and tried to get away, but is spun down. 3rd and long coming up for Rochester. There's a 1st and 10 empty backfield here for Billy Flagg. Flagg with a fake. He'll fire to the near side. That's Liam Seitz out of the backfield. That'll pick up 7. 8 of 10 for 70 yards for flag. That's Sight's first catch.
Let's go now. 8, read.
So even though New Orleans and Rochester are at the bottom of the standings, it will determine potentially the first-round playoff matchups in the East. That pass is caught on 2nd down and 3 for Dakota. Matt Wilson going to take off and run. He'll get 3 yards on the play. Another Rhino first down through the air. That's Doug Day, his second catch for 21 yards. Up to the Vegas 38-yard line with 5.5 to go. RPO to Sykes. That's a beautiful play down the sideline. Coco all the way to the 9-yard line. The RPO fools Vegas. That is a tough throw all the way to the sideline. Emmanuel Blackman now out there for New Orleans passing. He's 3rd in the league in completion percentage at 70%. He hands off to Ray Chapatulis. But that was a very clever RPO play for Dakota. Nicely executed. Coco continuing his dominance as of late. Coco up to 710 yards and 7 touchdowns on the season. Blackman delivers, and that is one of the newcomers, Drew Matthews, to New Orleans. That's his first catch of his career for 13 yards and a first down for the Claws at the 35-yard line. 2nd and goal for Dakota at the 9. 4:18 to go in the first half. Chapatulis another carry. We'll get 2. Flag again with a... Wow, what a hit in the back of the end zone. I thought that was going to be a touchdown for sure. Instead, it was Josh Bridge with the beatdown in the end zone. 3rd and goal at the 9 now for Dakota. 4:11 to go in the first half. This is Flag. Again, will throw. Touchdown from 9 yards out. That's Doug Day. And Dakota takes a 6-point lead. That is squeezed through somehow. That is... let's get another look at that lower left-hand corner. Jet Monroe making a great play. His speed just got past Washington and Schlumbaum. The extra point is good for Dakota. That was a 12-play, 86-yard, 5-minute, 15-second drive. 9 and 10 come off the board. Billy Flag on that drive was 7 of 9 for 83 yards. They're forcing him to beat him through the air, and so far so good for Flag. 1st and 10 for New Orleans. They are in Rochester territory. That pass is caught. That's again Drew Matthews. Doug Day, by the way, with his 2nd touchdown of the season in 12 games, which is pretty surprising. 37 catches, 591 yards coming in. Handoff Chapatulis. It's going to be 3rd down and short for New Orleans at the Rochester 39-yard line. 3rd down and 2. Wichita and Minnesota is our next kickoff. That comes your way in about 13 minutes. Train horn blowing here in New York. 3rd and 2 for Blackman. Dropping to throw. Blackman tried to squeeze another one into Monroe over the middle, but this time Rochester was ready for it, and New Orleans will have a decision to make. It'd be a 56-yard field goal from here. Go for it on 4th and 2, or maybe punt. I don't know what Blackman was looking at because Vincent was staring him dead in the eyes as Chima completes his 11th catch of the day. That picks up 6 yards. And New Orleans will go for it. 4th and 2 at the Rochester 39. 6:33 to go. They hand it off to the fullback. It is close, and Rochester will take over. The Pioneers get an early 4th down stop, and we stay scoreless. There goes Jack Nitro with a big run. That's a 19-yard gain. 39 yards on 7 catches for Nitro, up to 111 total yards. 8 runs, 12 passes for Vegas in the first half. 2:56 to go in the first half. Mac Chima dropping to throw. Chima fires. That pass is complete down to the 48-yard line. 12 of 13 for 84 yards. Chima's been extremely methodical today. Another 4-yard pickup on first down. This is Casey Mears up to the 44-yard line. We'll set up a 2nd down and 3 for Rochester. Mac Chima again to throw. Throws that one out wide. Clutch grab able to turn the corner. And grab will pick up a couple more. 3rd down and 2. I think he got a kind of a bad spot on that one. Play fake Matt Wilson. 2nd down and 3. Going to air it deep. That pass in one-on-one coverage is knocked away and incomplete. Good coverage down the field from Jack Toulouse. 3rd down and 3 for the Pioneers after Wilson took the shot. Chima on a 3rd down and 2. Gonna throw. Chima, a little crossing route. Clutch grab had to come back for it. I'm not sure he got the 1st down. It's 4th and 1. Vegas has had a 4th and inches and a 4th and 1 on clutch grab receptions. His 3rd now for 10 yards. Dijon Swan, the mustard bird, with the with his first catch of the day. So now, what will Vegas do on 4th down? They will punt on 4th and 1 with 1:28 to go. That's somewhat understandable because you don't want Dakota getting great field position if you don't get it with 1:20 on the clock, but now it's up to your defense to get the stop. Wilson's pass is deflected and incomplete. He was looking for Justin Reside over the middle, and Wilson's just 1 of 3 for 19 yards. I would agree. Dakota Vegas is zipping by. 11 of 14 for 118 for Flag. We still have 10 minutes to kick off between Wichita and Minnesota. We're already almost into the 3rd quarter already in Vegas. Billy Flagg throws that to absolutely nobody. And it's 2nd down. 3rd down and 12 now for Rochester after Mears is brought down by Faisal Woods in the backfield. Flag on a 2nd down and 10 near side. That is caught falling down. And Vegas will actually take the timeout in the hopes they can get the ball back before the half. 3rd down and 7. This is Matt Wilson wide open. That is Dejon Wright down the sideline. Touchdown. A 38-yard touchdown throw from Wilson to Wright. And the Pioneers are on the board. A bad pursuit angle there, and then a little side block. That is the first catch of the day for Dakota's Sky Lord in his first game. And Wright scampers into the end zone for Rochester for the first points on the board in that one. Wright now 8 touchdowns. Is the team's only 1,000-yard receiver. And we'll finally get the number 7 off the board with 4:32 to go in the first quarter. That kick is good. 38 and 7 off the board. Vegas will get another shot before the half with 57 seconds to go and 1 timeout at their own 43. Rochester up 7-0 after the 4th down stop. Dakota up 10-3. 57 seconds to go in the first half of play. Coming up tonight, it's 6 and 8 Phoenix at 6 and 8 Miami. Mike Daggs, Gerald Smith on the call. New York and Dallas, the big one. Everyone will have their eyes on. 11 and 3 versus 10 and 4. That's Tyler Falk and Josh Zirkle. Then it is Michael Torillo and Eric Vinson on Monday. San Diego and Austin. A pair of 2 contrasting but elite offenses in the UFL. Should be an exciting one for Monday. This is Chima going long, and that one is incomplete. Clutch grab. Got his ribs busted by a helmet there. 3rd down and 5, 33 seconds to go. Play action for Emmanuel Blackman. He'll dump that off into the flat. Little bit of room to run for Dylan Garday. Pick up a couple. This is Chima dropping to throw on a little crossing pattern that is caught First down to the 37-yard line. Vegas will have one more opportunity to get a playoff before the end of the first half. They'll hold that timeout for a field goal. 16 seconds and counting there. Blackman deep shot for New Orleans. That pass is caught down the field all the way to the Rochester 32-yard line. A pickup of 38 yards. That is Jet Monroe. That doubles Emmanuel Blackman's passing yards. Let's see if Vegas can get off one more play here and get into more comfortable field goal range, or maybe even score a touchdown. They are down to 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5. They won't get the play off. And now a decision to make for Vegas as to what to do. This would be a 54-yard field goal from here. Ray tried to cut it back, but no room there. 11 yards on 4 carries. See what Vegas decides to do here. They will kick from 54 yards out to make it 10-6 before the half. 54-yarder is wide right and no good. So Vegas will stay at 3. Vegas now 25 of 29 kicking field goals. That's middle of the road in terms of kicking percentage in the league. Blackman on third down. He's got New Orleans into the red zone at the 18-yard line. Billy Flagg drops that one off to Liam Seitz. And that is going to end the first half in Vegas. 10-3 Dakota. Rochester up on New Orleans 7-0. The Claws are driving. And Wichita, Minnesota kicks off in about 5 minutes. So far, 141 yards for Vegas, 129 for Dakota in the first half. But they are the team with the 7-point lead. First down and 10 at the 18-yard line for New Orleans. There goes Ray Chapatulis slipping through defenders and getting down to the 4-yard line. 26 yards on 6 carries, first down and goal. A good response here from New Orleans following the Rochester score, which followed the 4th down stop for the Pioneer defense. Chicago taking on Salt Lake in the final game of the Gauntlet today. 7-7. They don't have a chance to catch for a top 3 seed, but they still would like to have a first-round bye in the East. Ray is dropped for a loss.
Good job, D. Good job. That's where you fly the ball.
Brett's Retro Gaming in the chat says it's a warm day for football today. It most certainly is. Vegas is inside, but pretty warm in Rochester today. We've got a couple heat advisories, one in Salt Lake and one in LA, I believe. Handoff, Chapatulis down to the 4-yard line. Right now in New Orleans, near record-breaking high temperatures coming up in a couple of days. But right now it feels like 89. Or check that I meant in Rochester. 3rd and goal at the 4. This is Blackman over the middle. Touchdown from 4 yards out. And New Orleans gets the score. That is O.J. Marsh for New Orleans. That is his first touchdown on just his 9th catch of the year. We had to look down our depth chart. O.J. Marsh gets the score. That's a 4-yard touchdown. That takes 4 off the board. And New Orleans strikes back. We are all tied at 7 in New York. So you got feels like 89 in Rochester. And then here today in Utah, right now, we've got a real feel of 105. Salt Lake wearing their all yellows today at home to try to curve the heat, trying not to wear black today. And then in Los Angeles, It is, feels like 81 at the moment, but it is kind of cloudy skies. I do expect that to warm up in the next half an hour prior to kickoff. Wichita, Minnesota kicking up shortly. This is Rochester on the return up to the 26-yard line as we come down near the end of the first quarter for the Pioneers and the Claws. Right now here at VFN Studios, it's 90. And we're feeling it in our highest electric bill in a while. Feels like 106 outside of studios. It's a comfortable 71 degrees inside. First down and 10 for Matt Wilson. He's got a crosser and a first down up to midfield. A pickup of 23 yards. Evan Woods' first catch of the day. Vegas gets a stop to start the second half, so they'll get the ball with 9:05 to go in the first quarter. Chima again back to throw. There's a penalty marker down, however. And it's a hold on Vegas, and it's coming back. We're also outside in Minneapolis today. End of the first quarter in New York. Chima on a play-action roll. He is dropped at the 1 by Trey Deuce. So now Rick Kuhn and Trey Deuce with sacks off the edge for Dakota, and it's 2nd and 29. By the way, feels like 102 in Minnesota today. So yeah, hot all over the place on a UFL Sunday. Chima lucky that was not a safety. It's time to play in Minnesota. Where Wichita and Minnesota will kick things off in the third game of 5 here on the Game Day Gauntlet. Can Wichita turn things around, a 4-game losing streak, or will it be Minnesota turning things around, a 6-game losing streak? Two teams in desperate need of a win, kicking off next year on the Gauntlet. Meanwhile, Rochester has moved the football into New Orleans territory, into the red zone at the 16-yard line. Wilson drops to throw. That pass is caught down to the 8. 3, 4, 7, and 9 single digits off the board so far. 8 not currently off the board. You can see Minnesota in the white pants, all white for Wichita, trying to curve the heat as Solberg's first pass of the day is complete. These teams pretty smart, trying to dress in mostly white today on the road. Billy Flagg's pass is incomplete. Wow, what a breakup there. Wilson on a play fake is going to be sacked back at the 17-yard line. Faisal Woods has been all over the place today. Third down and 11. There goes Chris Delro for Wichita, picking up 13 yards and a flyer first down. There's another penalty flag in Vegas. And that's a hold on Dakota, so that will move them back. Second and 20 for Dakota. Now it's third down and 11 for Rochester. 9:40 to go in the third quarter. Little end around for the Flyers is going to be near a first down. And on third down and 11, that gets almost nothing. That's a bad check down there for the Pioneers. Mears only picks up a yard. It'll result in a 34-yard field goal for Rochester. Billy Flagg on third down and 18. He's going to be well short. And Vegas gets another stop back-to-back here to start the third quarter. That, again, is Lord with the catch, already 4 for 20 yards for Sky Lord. A 34-yard field goal for Rochester is up, and it is good. So 34 off the board. This is Solberg. He's going to be sacked back at the 46-yard line. (34, 35, and 38). A run of 30s off the board early here on the Gauntlet. Dakota's punt rolls down to the 8, so Vegas slowly but surely losing a little bit of field position here. Brendan Allen with the sack for Minnesota. 9:01 to go in the first half. Jack Nitro today, 9 carries, 52 yards. He was 85 yards away from 1,000 yards at the start of the day. New Orleans will get the ball back down by 3. Another handoff to Nitro. This time he'll pick up 2. I've seen Clutch ask him to run it and them run it, and I've seen Ray ask him to throw it, and they've thrown it. Game plan's listening to you guys thus far. Blackman dropping a throw this time, and he is sacked. This is a flip out behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to pick up a first down. That's a run for Mike O'Neal to pick up 9. Mike O'Neal only had 1 carry this season. It went for nothing. So that's a good play. That is a catch, a touchdown for Timothy Shea. A 56-yard score. Are you kidding me? Timothy Shea. His 8th touchdown of the season, and that one might be his most impressive. Getting dragged down by Morton. He high points the football in the air. Morton almost knocked it out of his hand on the way down, and Timothy Shea makes an incredible catch for Wichita to get the Flyers on the board. Extra point is good. 7-0 Flyers. Vegas has a first down and 10 after the reception from, I believe it was Grab. And now this is Mike O'Neal with another catch. Chima's, I think, up to 18 completions. First down to the 45-yard line. 4:05 to go in the third. Chima again to pass. Gets a couple more. 19 of 21 for 138 yards. We got 3 one-score games right now. Dakota 10-3. New Orleans has to punt. They trail 10-7. And Wichita now leads Minnesota 7-0 off a brilliant catch from Timothy Shea. Play fake from Chima on 2nd down and 8. And a jump ball catch is caught at the Dakota 30. Ethan Flowers goes up and gets it over the defender. A 22-yard reception. His 5th grab for 87 yards today and another Devil first down. Wow. Over the top. Rob Noel on Minnesota's first possession gets a first down carry. That is a wild-looking throw from Matt Wilson. That's going to be incomplete. He's 7 of 10 for 124 yards. The puzzle that has been Rob Noel and the Minnesota running game is the conundrum of the season. They just have not been able to get him going or get him carries. He only got a yard on his first carry. Here on his second carry, he'll pick up 6 more. 3rd down and 3 for Minnesota. Minnesota in need of a spark, so is Wichita. They got it in the form of Timothy Shea so far. Minnesota on 3rd down throws a pick. And there goes Wichita. That is going to be a walk-in score. And I believe that is Aurora Ingram on the return. Ingram with the interception, and Wichita takes a 13-0 lead. That was a 36-yard interception return for number 37. Ingram in her 4th game. That is interception number 2 on the season. Wichita off to a hot start. That throw on 2nd down by Chima thrown away. So 3rd down and 10 for Vegas at the Dakota 13. Rochester is at the New Orleans 45. And Ingram's touchdown has put Wichita up 14-0. This is a Vegas 1st down and goal at the 1. Ethan Flowers, another catch. 6 for 98, and Vegas is 1 yard away from tying this one up. Third down and 5 for the Pioneers. This is Wilson over the middle. Reside had to come back for it, fighting for that 1st down. Brandon Kelly's in the house, and it's going to be short. 4th down and inches on Reside's first catch. What will Rochester do on the New Orleans 35? And then on the 1 yard line, a penalty, a false start on Vegas, and that moves them back to the 6. Fullback handoff gets them back to the 4. That's Lofton's first carry. Rochester electing to go for a 52-yard field goal to make it 13-7. The kick for the Pioneers is good. And 13 comes off the board. 13-7 Pioneers. This is a 2nd down and goal for Nitro, and he is blasted by Suki Padre. 3rd and goal at the 5 coming up for Vegas. We got kickoff from Los Angeles coming up in about 10 minutes. It is the end of the 3rd quarter in Vegas already. 10-3 Rhinos, but Vegas is knocking on the door. What are they going to do here? 3rd and goal at the 5. Chima to throw. Chima looks, corner of the end zone. That one sails on Mac Chima. Just his 5th incompletion, and now it's 4th and goal for Vegas. Blackman is 9 of 10 for 100 yards and a touchdown. So far today, it's been a good one. Minnesota trying to bounce back. LaBrice Rowland with a catch, but it's quickly 3rd down and 8 for Minnesota. Blackman play action roll. He'll fire wide open. That's caught for a 1st down. This is Falk on 3rd down and 8. Falk just got rid of it in time, and that one's incomplete. 4th down, Vegas going for the ball's knocked away. Knocked out of the hands of Ethan Flowers. Dakota with a 4th down stop. Vegas was just 5 yards away from scoring, tried to tie the game, and Flowers could not hang on. He was open over the middle, but it's knocked out from behind by Trey Deuce, and Dakota gets a stop on their own 5-yard line. Clutch wanted him to kick it. Blackman dropping a throw, and that's not going much anywhere. Billy Flagg, 18 of 23, 137 yards, a touchdown, and no picks. So 1st and 10 at the 5 now. Vegas hoping to get a stop, play field position. That's a 6-yard gain to start for Lions. Blackman on an option keeper. Nothing there. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for New Orleans. Now trailing by 6 with 3:22 to go in the 1st half. Wichita's got the football back. Minnesota with a pick and a 3-and-out to start their day. Liam Seitz is tripped. Just 20 yards on 12 carries today for Seitz, and it's 3rd and 4 for Dakota. 3rd and 4 for Dakota. 3rd and 11 for New Orleans. Play fake Blackman. And his pocket collapses. That's a 1st down. Mike Coco. A 20-yard pickup gets Dakota out of a jam. 6 catches for 78 yards. That is Solberg. He fumbles. It's picked up by Minnesota, and they're running it in for a score that's a 37-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. Allen, who has a sack today, recovers the fumble, and Minnesota is in the end zone.
Here we go. 10 Lobo.
The Chipper defense comes away with a score. Flags pass, caught again. No, incomplete. Wow. Was Solberg down? I missed a second look at the replay, but not even a challenge from Wichita. That fumble leads to a Minnesota touchdown, and it's 14-7 Chippers, trailing now by just 7. That is Billy Flagg again open to the 49-yard line. The drive started at the 5. Wilson's pass complete, his 11th of the day up to the 27. Still 6 minutes to go before the kickoff of St. Louis and Los Angeles. Down to 9:50 to go in the fourth quarter. 41st play of the day for Dakota's offense. Vegas had a 4th and goal at the 5, went for it to try to tie the game. That one is deflected, and that's a brutal hit over the middle by New Orleans defense to force a 3rd down and 5. So Solberg following his fumble to keep Minnesota in things here in the first quarter. There's another pass that's incomplete. Another jarred ball loose for Vegas. Rochester's got a 1st down. That's right. Solberg trying to bounce back on 1st down and 10. He's looking for someone to get open. He fires that into heavy traffic, and Minnesota's defense does their job again. Play fake, 3rd down and 10 for Flagg, and he misfires, and Vegas gets a stop. Dakota will have to punt with 9:30 to go in the fourth quarter. That ball, you can see he was looking for Horn. That was close. Good camera angle there. Wilson slings it near side. A little bit too much sling on that one. And that punt goes out of bounds at the 13. Vegas has not been blessed with good field position, especially in the second half. Still trailing, though, by just 7. They are right there with the Rhinos. Dakota puts a team away every so often, but for the most part, they keep things interesting. Mac Chima, he's had a good day. Deep ball on a corner route. That is caught at the 42, a 29-yard gain. He's 24 of 30 for 217 yards. Just can't get the ball in the dang end zone. Evan Woods got a 1st down up to the 35-yard line. Rochester on the move once again, and Minnesota gets a stop. They'll have the ball 4:17 to go in the first quarter after Morgan fielded that punt. St. Louis, LA is our 4th out of 5 kickoffs coming up. Both teams nearing 300 yards, Dakota and Vegas. Chima dropping to throw. He will fire it over the middle. That pass is complete down to the 26-yard line. Here come the Devils. That's Mike O'Neill again, and that's an interception for New Orleans. Jack Toulouse with a pick. That is his 2nd on the season. And Wilson, who has not thrown many interceptions this year, has a drive stall out as it was approaching scoring position. Toulouse drags the feet, and New Orleans has a little bit of life in a lifeless second quarter. You know, Blackman's played pretty good despite trailing, just 1 incompletion. 3rd down and 10, another 3 and out for Minnesota. Doug Falk has started 1 of 5 for 4 yards and a pick. That is now 306 yards for Vegas. Glidden's 4th catch for 26 yards. Another good ball from Chima over the middle. Minnesota's got to punt. More touchdowns defensively than offensively in that game in Minnesota. between two teams that have combined to lose 10 straight. It is 2nd and inches for Vegas, and Chima will take the check down. I believe that's enough. That is Devin Matthews with the catch for New Orleans, and a timeout. They got 26 seconds to go before the half. That is good enough for a Vegas first down at the 16-yard line. St. Louis and LA kicking off shortly. Chima, first down, dumps it off to the 11-yard line, 28 of 34. Blackman dropping a throw. Down to one timeout. They'll have one last chance to get a playoff before they have to take that timeout. The handoff goes to Nitro. Nitro will roll over to the 9-yard line. 3rd and 3 coming up for Vegas. 6:40 to go in the fourth. Would they go for it again? 2nd and 3. They're down to 3 seconds for New Orleans. They do. Oh, no, it's incomplete. 1 second to go. And they're still outside of field goal range. That would have put them in field goal range. 3rd down and 3 for Vegas. This is Chima looking for someone to get open, and it's a sack. And again, as Pfister makes the play, the red zone becomes a frustration of Vegas. That is Menachem Pfister with the sack. And that's the end of the first half in Rochester. The Pioneers hold on to their 13-7 advantage. So Menachem with the takedown. Now what does Vegas do on 4th and pretty long? Just 17 rushing yards in the first half of the Pioneers, and Solberg is taken down. That's Joseph Alexis with the sack. This time Vegas will settle for the field goal. It's a 34-yarder, but we don't have 6 off the board, so 6 is a new number. 10-6. Dakota hanging on with a 4-point lead. For Alexis, that is just the 3rd sack of the season. That's a loss of 10, so 2nd down and 24 Wichita. They'll just hand it off to Delro, and he is slammed down by Frank Castle. Time to go to St. Louis and the quad box. St. Louis and LA from California coming up next. Solberg a floater into traffic, incomplete. Minnesota gets another stop. 5:32 to go in the fourth. In Vegas, Billy Flagg 20 of 29 for 175 yards and a touchdown. Great deflection by Brendan Allen. He's unclaimed, folks, in Minnesota. He is a star in Minneapolis. St. Louis in all white today. LA going red, black, white. 2nd down and 1 for Dakota. That pass is caught to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 15. That's Tony Horn Jr.'s 5th catch. Does Vegas have enough? Doug Falk is now 1 of 6 for 4 yards. Minnesota does not have a first down in the first quarter. The first handoff of the day in St. Louis, LA goes to Junior McCray. That doesn't get much. 3rd down and 11 for New Orleans. Trailing 13-7. That pass in traffic is caught at the 46-yard line. Flag dump off over the middle, incomplete. That is Chapatulis on the catch. Running a Texas route out of the backfield. Nice grab from Ray Ray. 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion for Dakota. 4:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Doug Day goes in motion. End of the first quarter in Minnesota. This is a deep shot caught. That is Sky Lord with the catch. 23 of 33 for Billy Flagg. 4:15 and counting That's the 5th catch for Lord, and now it is Vegas needing to force a field goal here. Ray on the carry. It'll be 3rd down. Karen Koizumi off to an 0 for 2 start for St. Louis, and LA will get their first stop of the day. Play fake for Flag. Flag dropping a throw. Flag will fire. That is a loss of 1, but it will keep the clock moving with 3:40 to go. One swatted away by Rochester, intended for Dylan Gameday. Run here for Dakota. Vegas will start taking timeouts with under 2:40 to play in the 4th quarter. Third down and 7 for Dakota. It'd be a 41-yard field goal from here. We don't have a single 40 off the board yet here on the Gauntlet. Play fake, Billy Flag dropping a throw, going to take off and run. Haven't seen that much today. Flag stretching for the first down, and he got it. Dakota clutch again. First down of the 17, and now Vegas has to use their timeouts in the hopes of getting a stop. They really have kept Billy Flag in the pocket quite nicely throughout the day. That was all effort from Billy. Now Flag on a floater. That's incomplete, and that will stop the clock. A free timeout for Vegas. Shanahan into the flat on 2nd down and 10. Broken tackle there will set up a 3rd and medium for LA. 3rd down and 1 for Rochester. This is a 2nd down run for Dakota. Timeout Vegas. Dump off over the middle to RJ Gilmore for Solberg. But it's short of the first down. Minnesota will get another stop. 4th and 4. Coming up, Evan Wood, I believe, on that last reception for Rochester. Los Angeles faces a 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 11 for the Rhinos. 2:26 to go and 1 timeout for Vegas. They just throw the safe check down and actually out of bounds. Lord makes the catch, but it is Bridge forcing the out of bounds play. That saves a timeout for Vegas. Oh, look at that punt from Rochester down to the 1-yard line. And that will set up a Dakota field goal, so at least there's something there from Vegas. A glimmer of hope, but they haven't reached the end zone all day. It's a 33-yarder. This is the most bizarre number distribution on the Gauntlet we have had. 33 is your first number since we hit the Gauntlet, but 33, or since we hit the quad box, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38 are all off the board. But no 20s or no 40s today are off the board. Brandon, every team makes the playoffs. So yes, a very legitimate chance. Do I think they have a legitimate chance of getting a top 2 bye? I most certainly do. I think that Rochester has a legitimate chance of going up by 2 scores. Touchdown Pioneers. That one from 53 yards out. And that's another one for Dejon Wright, who burned the defense, broke 2 tackles, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Rochester. They've been explosive today. 3rd down and 4. This is the first move of the chains of the day for Minnesota. Tyler Falk with a 20-yard reception. So now Vegas with 1 timeout. Mike O'Neill up to 101 yards on 5 catches. I think Ethan Flowers might be over 100 yards too, or certainly close. 1st and 10, 2:19 to go, 1 timeout in the 2-minute warning for Vegas. They got a shot. 2-point conversion, Justin Reside. That is good, and 21 comes off the board. And it's Ethan Flowers with a first down on the 48-yard line, a pickup of 23 on the first play for Vegas. St. Louis with the ball back. Junior McCray breaking off a tackle, getting to the 43. Still scoreless there in Los Angeles. 2 minutes to go. 51st offensive play of the day for Vegas. Down 13-6. Chima dropping a throw. Near side caught. First down and getting... Oh, the ball's out. Oh, Flowers stepped out of bounds first. Wow. Ethan Flowers, watch this. Upper left-hand corner. He turns the corner. 1 foot goes out of bounds right there, and the ball gets ripped out of his hands. He was out there. He was standing out of bounds. Great camera angle. And then the ball was stripped away, but Vegas retains possession at the Dakota 36-yard line. Chima dropping a throw. That one at the feet of the intended receiver. Dakota almost had another unbelievable play in clutch time. Instead, it's still Vegas with the football 36 yards away from a tie. Doug Falk goes down for the sack. That's Harper Dew, and on 4th down and 24, Minnesota essentially back to where they started. That is clutch grab to the 9. Clutch in the clutch. 372 yards for Vegas. 1:32 to go. Vegas again in goal-to-go territory, but this one is a touchdown. Ethan Flowers and the Devils a point away from tying the game. What a drive. There goes Timothy Shea in the open field again for Wichita, plus a face mask. The Flyers are in good shape. St. Louis now in the red zone. New Orleans down 21-7 on the move just across midfield with 5:48 to go in the third quarter. The all-important extra point for Vegas is up and good. We are tied at 13. Dakota, 1 minute 29 seconds and 3 timeouts remaining. Upset alert, blasting out now, says Peter, most certainly. But the ball's still in the hands of the Dakota Rhinos, winners of 10 straight. Karen Koizumi, 18-yard touchdown scamper, has St. Louis on the board. 21-18 along with 33, the only new numbers since we hit the quad box. Wichita, 2nd and 5 at the 10, and Delro doesn't go anywhere. Now the question on everyone's minds, can Dakota do it again? Will Dakota do it again? They have won, I believe, at least 7 games by 1 score. Maybe it's 8 now. Solberg dumps that off. That should be good enough for a first down. Blackman's pass cannot be handled. No, 4th and inches for Wichita. We'll see what they do there. How's it going, Mark Lopez? 45 of you watching week 15 of the Game Day Gauntlet, the second to last week of the regular season. Here comes Billy Flagg, and Dakota going to take off and run. And again, Vegas holds him short of a first down. He's carried the ball 3 times for 21 yards. That's a 22-yard field goal for Wichita that is good. 22 and 17 come off the board for all the bingo players. No huddle now for Dakota. 2nd down and 3. This is Flagg firing open. That is caught. I believe that's Lord to the 41-yard line. Horn is warming up. Dakota just needs a field goal to win the game. Drew Matthews with another catch for New Orleans as the Claws try to scrap their way back in this thing, down 14. Billy Flagg, clean pocket over the middle. That pass is caught down to the 38-yard line. They still have all 3 of their timeouts. Doug Day with the catch. It'd be a 55-yard field goal. And now Dakota will call their first timeout. A.J. Horn's long this season is 57. He's also hit from 56. Dakota is in Horn's range. And after the Flyer field goal, it's 17-7, 5:18 to go. You can see the line there. He would make it from 59. They hand it off to Seitz, but Vegas Stops him again. Dakota will call another timeout. Second and short for the Claws, just outside of the red zone with 2:36 to go in the third quarter. And that is a Tchoupitoulas first down. Shanahan's thrown one pick already today. Somehow I missed that. Second and 11. It'd be a 56-yard field goal from here. That's a little bit more dicey for Horn. That is going to make it a little less dicey, especially as the pile pushes forward. Lions getting the ball to the 31-yard line, and now it's a 48-yard field goal for Dakota. Down to 10 seconds to go. Handoff, Lions, and Dakota will call a timeout. Can Vegas get a block? Blackman is sacked. And it's 3rd and 20, New Orleans at the 31-yard line. 3rd and 13 for Ronnie Shanahan. He tried to let it loose, and Seastrunk makes the tackle. Doug Falk now 3 of 11 passing. Minnesota, I believe, has 1 first down in the first half. Dakota's field goal for the win is good from 47, and they've done it again. 47 and 16 are off the board, but Dakota wins their 11th in a row, and they do just enough once more. 14 and 1. Dakota cannot be denied. It's the second back-to-back. Oh, that pass is caught by New Orleans at the 6. That is Jet Monroe for 25. It is the second back-to-back heartbreaking loss for the Devils, who played yet another very good game against one of the league's top teams, but will fall to 3 and 12. And that will put them on the road in the first round of the playoffs. If Minnesota falls, they will also be on the road for the first round of the playoffs. And who knows, Minnesota and Vegas could be playing in a playoff elimination game down the line if the two teams continue to struggle. It is 2nd and goal at the 8 for New Orleans after that brilliant reception by Monroe in heavy traffic. Clutch coda, says Lopez. Solberg hands off to Delroe. Delroe down to the 40. Kickoff between Chicago and Salt Lake in 5 minutes. This is Ray Tchoupitoulas around the left side. Touchdown from 8 yards out. The bingo numbers are flowing here in the quad box, and New Orleans cuts it back to a 1-score game. Koizumi with a spin gets 14 yards and a first down to the 16-yard line. And a 4th and 2 stop for Minnesota's defense once more. Extra point for New Orleans is good. 21-14. 13 seconds to go in the third. 7-0 St. Louis, 17-7 Wichita, but they are punting with 2:50 to go in the second quarter. This is a good punt inside the 10, down to the 4. That trickles down and stopped there. And off to McCray. 36 yards on 7 carries for Junior McCray. 3rd and 1 coming up for St. Louis. The Rivermen currently at the top of the East, trying to hold off New York and Dallas for the number 1 seed. Rob Noel, 14 yards on 8 carries. Minnesota just has not been able to figure out how to get him going. They have been more balanced today. Handoff to Folk, or to Noel rather, only gets 2 more, 3rd down and 8. End of the third quarter in Rochester, 21-14. Koizumi got rocket, and it is a broken tackle and a first down. Rocked but efficient, and that pass was caught because she had no other choice by tight end Terrace Thomas.
18 Gator.
How many catches for Thomas this season?
To go.
Deep shot, Koizumi over the top, touchdown! That was an absolute beauty. A 53-yarder to Central House. And St. Louis goes up 13-0. This is a dime from Koizumi, may be her best throw of the season. A drop in the bucket over the talented safeties of Los Angeles. 13-0 St. Louis. Extra point is good. 14-0 Riverman. Since we hit the quad box, 33, 21, 18, 22, 17, 47, 16, and 8 are off the board. 10:42 to go in the fourth quarter, and the Pioneers have a 40-yard reception to Dejan Wright. Wright is up to 171 yards on 7 receptions. That is almost a top 25 performance in the league this season. He would need 8 more yards to reach that point. As Rochester just continues to keep their distance over the Claws. 10:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Up 21-14, trying to get another score on the board. Casey Mears has struggled for much of the day. Oh, what is she doing? Mears had a lane. Why? Why did she cut it back inside? That was probably the most egregious inside cutback we've seen all season. Down to the 13-yard line, although maybe Rochester's just trying to waste more time. Ingram's third carry for 20 yards. Handoff Mears. This time cuts correctly and gets down to the 6. And now we go to Salt Lake and Chicago. Our final kickoff here on the Game Day Gauntlet after Dakota held on to win 16-13. Wilson finds Reside, but no gain. 3rd down and 3 at the 6. 8:53 to go in the fourth quarter in Rochester. 35 seconds to go in the first half in Minnesota. Wide open, Timothy Shea again. Shea has been owning Minnesota here in the first half. The Hornets, fresh off their upset over San Diego last week at 5-9. If Minnesota loses, they will secure at least a first-round home playoff game. They're trying to catch Phoenix, who takes on Miami tonight. We're underway in Utah. Salt Lake in the all-yellow for the first time today. It is a hot one with heat indexes of over 100. This is a 21-yard field goal attempt for Rochester, which is good. 24 is a new number off the board. 24-14. The Pioneer lead is now 10 over the Hornets. 3rd down and 11, and LA converts. That's Henderson with the first down to the 44-yard line. And on the first play for Chicago's offense, Adam Wiseman goes down for a sack. Rochester on their way to their 6th win of the season. They would get their home record to 4-4. There goes Minnesota. What happened there at the end of the half? Is that a blocked field goal? Return for a touchdown. Yes, it was a 41-yard field goal attempt for Wichita, and Minnesota comes off the edge. blocks it, returns it for a score, and the Chippers, despite, I believe, 1 first down in the first half, is down by 3. 3rd and 16, Wiseman gives it the heave-ho, one-on-one, and Tay Marion comes down with a football. 58 yards, and then an interception for St. Louis down to the 8-yard line. The second pick of the day for Slim Diaz. And St. Louis leaves Los Angeles scoreless. What action in 3 of the 4 games. Look at the Marion catch, upper left-hand corner. Minnesota averaging 1.8 yards per play and 47 yards of offense. But there's the forced fumble, and yeah, absolutely, that was legit. Frank Castle, I believe, forced it. Minnesota's defense and special teams keeping him in it. 1st and goal, Chicago at the 5. Emmanuel Blackman on 3rd down and 12 is sacked. Sam Switowski with the takedown. 4th and 21 coming up for New Orleans. That was a beautiful pick by Slim Diaz, too. Holdorf's in the house. Archangels do it again. Now what is New Orleans going to do? Trailing by 10. 1st and goal at the 5 for Chicago. Wiseman on a play fake, looking for someone to get open. He is drifting. He is sacked. A loss of 12. Lou Marks with the takedown. Marks has been balling. Absolutely balling the last few weeks of the season. Down the field, Karen Koizumi. Are you kidding me? 81 yards on 3 carries. Koizumi down the sideline and got 2 blocks to Springer.
You ready? 55. Right there in the middle. 55.
200 to 47 in total yards, and a sick juke from Koizumi as well. 2nd and goal for Chicago, down to the 14-yard line. Doug Falk on the run. He's popped at the 34. New Orleans forced to punt because it was 4th and forever. 1st down to the LA 40-yard line. Koizumi to throw, dumps it off. Here's Mears juking 2 defenders and making another miss down to the 9-yard line. And actually, New Orleans did go for it. I misspoke earlier. New Orleans on 4th and 21 went for it with under 7 to go. They are down 2 scores. As Casey Mears takes the dump off there, and that 4th and 21 was well short for New Orleans. So Rochester really has a chance to put this one away with 5:50 to go in the 4th. Wiseman takes another sack. Great red zone stop there from St. Louis, or from Salt Lake, rather. I wanted to get back to Lou Marks. As Wilson drops on 3rd down and 2, he is taken down. That's Bush's first sack. Lou Marks' 12th sack of the year. That's close to the leaderboards. That's a 38-yard kick for Chicago, already off the board. 3rd down and 8 for Minnesota. Can they get any kind of offense going here to help out their defense and special teams? Falk's pass is caught. 1st down for the Chippers down to the 42-yard line. And Rochester forced to kick a field goal. That's a 33-yarder. That's already off the board. 27 is not, though. So 27-14 is the score. Rochester goes up by 13 points, but New Orleans at least did not make it a did not give up a 3-score game. That definitely would have sunk them with 4:49 to go in the 4th quarter. Still a long shot for the Claws, who are afraid to fall to 4-11. There's a fumble in Salt Lake. It's recovered by Chicago. The opening kick return for Salt Lake coughed up. There's 3 different Chicago bodies in on that play. I can't tell. It looked like maybe the player was sitting on top of a Chicago player. St. Louis is going to have to settle for a 45-yard field goal. And there is going to be a booth review in Salt Lake. 45-yard field goal for St. Louis is good. So 45 comes off the board. Bingo numbers will return to the screen at the conclusion of the New Orleans and Rochester game. The Claws down by 13. They're going to need to hurry. That's Devin Matthews with the reception. 4th tackle for Han Tayumi. 3rd down and 13 for Minnesota. Their offense will not be able to stay on the field. And that kick return was overturned in favor of Salt Lake. And Blackman goes down for a sack. That's the 2nd for Palmer. The strangest thing about how that kick return was overturned is that Salt Lake is now going in a different direction. Did anybody notice that? The refs misplaced the ball. We're down to 3:55 to go in the 4th quarter, and New Orleans is down 13 with a 3rd down and 16. Timothy Shea, by the way, 118 yards on just 3 catches, as Jay Carter's got a 1st down to the 48. And Blackman's pass is complete to Jet Monroe on the sideline. 129 yards on 7 receptions for Monroe on a corner route that is perfectly thrown, just enough for the 1st down. And that was Mia Pangori on the last catch for the Hornets. Had a pretty touchdown in the 1st quarter of last week's game. This is Solberg nearly throwing an interception. 3:35 to go in the 4th quarter. Jet Monroe's 8th grab for 135 yards. We're watching the upper right-hand corner. We've got 2-1 score games as LA takes a deep shot. It's 17-0, and that one's incomplete. Blackman has the Claws in the red zone down to the 14-yard line. That's a 13-point game. And then St. Louis so far all over LA, 17-0. Final week of the season, St. Louis goes to Wichita. Minnesota goes to Chicago. Salt Lake will host Vegas as Carter's pass is complete. New Orleans goes to Miami. Rochester goes to Dallas. 1st down for New Orleans. 3:16 to go in the 4th quarter. Blackman to throw. Blackman one-on-one. Beat the defender. Touchdown, New Orleans. And that's the 1st of the career for Devin Matthews. And New Orleans fighting back. 3:12 to go in the 4th quarter. 27-20. Jay Carter, there's a flag down. You get a look at the pylon cam. Pretty sure already had 2 feet before that last toe. So holding on Salt Lake, that's going to push them back. Matt Ryan called for the hold. And now a booth review, but I believe that was a good catch in New Orleans. Yeah, see, he got the 2 feet in before that last drag. Doesn't need the last drag. There goes Junior McCray. That is a 63-yard score. And St. Louis is pouring it on the Aztecs, which if you're a Riverman fan, you're saying, finally, we can take a breath. McCray with the deep run, and the kick for New Orleans is good, 27-21. No new numbers off the board in either one of those 2 scores, as Carter's pass on 2nd and 27 is deflected at the line. So now it's 3rd down and 27 for Jay Carter. And the Salt Lake Hornets going backwards with 4:25 to go. Extra point is good for St. Louis. That pass is incomplete, and so Salt Lake's going to have to punt on 4th and long. Minnesota's defense gets another stop. 5:58 to go in the third. It's still a 3-point game. LA taking on St. Louis and New York in their final 2 games. It's about as tough of a stretch as you can have as a team. Just hoping to hold on to one of those top 4 seeds and avoid the first round of the playoffs and having to play more games. Of course, you know, if you make your way all the way through the losers bracket, you get even more UFL action. 50 of you watching the Game Day Gauntlet right now, Week 15 style, 3:12 to go in the 4th quarter, and New Orleans needs a stop. Casey Mears seeking contact. New Orleans has done a pretty good job on her today, just 52 yards on 13 carries, down to 3 minutes to go. New Orleans will start taking timeouts with under 2:40 left after this play. Doug Falk is sacked on 2nd and inches. Zachary Odom with the takedown. Casey Mears takes the handoff, and now it's a timeout for New Orleans. A 3rd down and 2 coming up. Chicago's also got a 3rd and 2 on Williams' first carry. 2nd and 2 for Los Angeles, and that pass is caught for a first down. McKay Breeze to the 47-yard line. 3rd and 2 for Rochester. They'll hand it off to Mears. Mears has a first down, and New Orleans is down to just 1 timeout. Fat lady warming up. 2:25 to go. Oh, that pass was... Doug Falk had a wide-open receiver. 6 of 18 for Doug Falk today, and that one was just dropped. Look at this lower left-hand corner. He's wide open, and it hit him in the kneecaps. Chicago's got a punt. First down and 10 for Rochester. A little play-action fake for Wilson. Wilson looking for someone to get open. He tosses it out of bounds, so New Orleans saves a timeout. 2:16 to go. It helps the Claws a bit. Solberg 15 of 20, 185 yards, a touchdown, no picks, but does have the fumble. And what was that? On 3rd and 10, Wilson, he just airmailed that out of bounds. Of course, this is the Gerald Smith versus Mike Daggs Bowl. Yeah, Wilson just tossed that out of bounds. 3rd down and 10, Wilson fires. That one is caught. That's a first down. And New Orleans is now out of timeout. So the only clock stoppage is the 2-minute warning. It's a good run from Pollard there for Wichita. Picks up a first down. That was just so strange what Wilson did on 2nd and 10 where he just tossed it out of bounds. New Orleans now out of timeouts. Jay Carter. Oh! To the Chicago 39. That is a ridiculous play by Liam Ryan. That's a catch again for Rochester with 2 minutes to go to Evan Wood. Rochester is just throwing. Their conserved time or waste time offense a little backwards. But they do have the ball down to the New Orleans 32-yard line, 2 minutes to go. This is a little screen pass. Oh, another pick! That's Slim Diaz's 3rd of the first half. Diaz on fire. Hand off to Casey Mears. There's no timeouts left for New Orleans, but because of the 35-second play clock, Rochester's going to have to keep running plays. Woods with the tackle. Salt Lake's made some brilliant catches in this quarter, but they're still scoreless. Diaz with 3 in the first half. So far this season, Diaz had 1 pick. The entire season, he's got 3 in the first half. 1:27 to go in the fourth in New York. And they hand it off to Mears again. So now it's 3rd down and 12. They cannot run the clock out. It'd be a 51-yard field goal from here. I formation here for Rochester. 50 seconds left. There is a play clock difference. They're going to pass it. Wilson play action. He's wasting time. Just waste time. He's going to throw it. Throws a pick. Oh, my goodness. New Orleans with the interception going back the other way. The claws down the sideline. Touchdown. New Orleans. Touchdown, New Orleans. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Matt Wilson just trying to run the clock out with a play action. 2 receivers ran into each other, and New Orleans takes it all the way back from one of the most improbable wins in UFL history if they can kick the extra point through the uprights. That did not just happen in New York. With 33 seconds to go. Extra point is good. New Orleans takes the lead. What was Matt Wilson doing on that last drive? I understand the play action there, especially given that he was running a lot of time off the clock, because he could have just stood back there. That's a touchdown for Salt Lake. That's the first Mac Anthony score of the day for Salt Lake. Mac Anthony's second touchdown of the season on 10 grabs. And the Hornets are on the board. There goes Koizumi again down to the 8-yard line. St. Louis running amok in LA. If Matt Wilson just takes off and runs, you get under 35 seconds to go in the game, and on 4th down, you don't have to snap the ball. But why he threw it is even more surprising, and what was going on that route was even more surprising. There were 2 receivers right in the same area, and it looked like neither one of them expected Wilson to throw the ball. Now Wilson almost completed it to reside on a deflection. They can still win it with a field goal. Meanwhile, Wichita got a field goal up. What was the distance on that kick? It was a 42-yard field goal, so 42's off the board. Koizumi going to take off and run again. And a face mask on LA will stop the clock with 13 seconds to go. That is misery wrapped up in one penalty. The emergence of Karen Koizumi as a quarterback this season is well documented as St. Louis chases a championship. Koizumi from the 1-yard line scores a touchdown. It's a 30-burger. It is a 30-burger. Rochester, New Orleans, Phoenix, St. Louis, and Wichita have never made a title game appearance in UFL history. Of course, Dakota won their first UFL championship, dating all the way back to the Ultimate Football League, as 31 comes off the board last season. Of course, New York and Dallas have been Ultimate Football League powerhouses of the past. New Orleans just got the ball back, folks. That is unbelievable An unbelievable collapse by the Rochester Pioneers, who go 4 straight incompletions on their final drive. And in Rochester, the Claws come back to stun the Pioneers. That was one of the most dramatic endings of the season. By the way, a run from Rex Swift for Chicago, one of the Dragons' newest players. Yeah, I'd say that's safe to say, Flash. It's a first down and 10. Minnesota up to 109 total yards. They're still only down 6. Here in the fourth quarter, and they are across Wichita territory. Chicago's got a first down at the 18-yard line. And New Orleans now gets out of the 8th spot in the East. They were hoping for a Wichita loss today. That is not happening so far. And next week, if Miami were to fall to Phoenix, New Orleans could now get involved with potentially hosting a first-round playoff game. If they're able to hold on and beat Miami, plus another a couple of other tie breaks. We'll get the final stats of New Orleans and Rochester before we get you back to the triple box and get your updated numbers on the screen. There are plenty. Wiseman over the middle. Chicago trailing 7-3, 6:38 to go in the first half. Wiseman, when he's thrown, is 7 of 7 for 123 yards. But he took a couple of sacks on that last drive that resulted in a field goal. Start of the second half in LA, it is brutal, 31-0. All Rivermen who finally have a blowout on their hands. Now in the triple box, there are your updated bingo numbers. Everything after the double dash is new to the screen. Ronnie Shanahan today just 10 of 21, 126 yards, and Slim Diaz has been his mortal enemy. Handoff for Chicago. That's a 5-yard rushing touchdown, and 5 is now off the board. That's Jason Williams with the score. Chicago takes the lead. There's a penalty marker in Minnesota. It's a hold. The Chippers had a first down in the red zone, and on... Oh, no, it's a hold on... it was fourth down. It was fourth down. They had... Oh, my goodness, Minnesota... What happened here? It was fourth down and 5 for Minnesota. Oh, the ball was knocked out. That's why. So Wichita declines the penalty. It was a turnover on downs. And now Timothy Shea's got the ball in Minnesota territory. BK Solberg over the middle. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Minnesota's defense and special teams have scored all their points today. The Chippers have been in every game the last few weeks, but just have failed to come up with the plays they need in the fourth quarter to secure a victory. Now Salt Lake, who's got just 13 yards from Chris Allure, will trot back out onto the field. Yeah, Rochester, Dallas next week as the Pioneers fall to 5-10, and in the last place in the East Division. Rochester, Dallas is a rematch of the wild card playoff game last year. This is Shanahan's pass, incomplete. It's third down and 6 as LA looks for some semblance of momentum here in the second half. Fresh set of downs for Wichita with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This is Solberg dropping that one off. And that one down to the 31-yard line. Deep shot. McKay Breeze with the catch to the St. Louis 29-yard line. A 27-yard catch. Beautiful ball for McKay Breeze. Third catch for 67 yards. Solberg on a corner route down to the 8-yard line. And you're not going to want to miss Matt Wilson and Gerald Smith discussing what happened in the Rochester-New Orleans game later tonight. I'm sure they will have plenty of jawing to give to each other. Sauce K with the catch on 3rd and 10, fighting for a first down, and he's going to be short.
Here we go. 30 base.
First and goal for Wichita at the 8-yard line. Minnesota needs some kind of defensive stand with pressure at his feet. He almost threw his first pick of the day, did Solberg. Instead, it's 2nd and goal. That might have been the moment for Minnesota. Robert Henson has a bingo. Are you kidding me? 19 and 20. Let's see if we got the rules right today. All right, you got a horizontal on the bottom on 19 and a horizontal on the bottom on 20. How about that from Robert Henson? And a touchdown for Chris Delro from 8 yards out. On 2nd down and goal. And now Wichita will go for 2. And that 2-pointer is incomplete. So 26 is off the board. That was a fairly quick bingo, Robert. Still in the triple box here. 7 plays, 64-yard drive for Wichita, and now up 2 scores. Even though Timothy Shea did not get that 2-point conversion, it kind of feels like that one may be put away for the Flyers. If so, they improved to 7 and 8 and are keeping a close eye on Chicago, who leads Salt Lake right now 10-7. See what Chicago did against Wichita this season. Hasn't been Wichita's finest hour, but they've made enough big plays to get it done. Wichita played Chicago in week 2 and beat them 29-22. So Wichita would have the tiebreaker over Chicago. So Wichita could get as high as number 4. That's a 40-yard field goal for LA. That is good. So 40 is off the board. And LA is finally on the board. 31-3 with 7:12 to go in the third. I guess that's a small victory for LA. Chicago at their own 38 with 2 minutes to go in the first half, up 10-7 in Salt Lake. Doug Falk back to pass, trying to get the Minnesota offense in the end zone or get any points at all up to the 41-yard line. Neil Rivers needs 1 number. You can tell me there's no bonus numbers because there's already been a bingo, so it's not going to influence me. But at least I'll know for you on the broadcast. Grab needs 1 on each card. That ball deflected away. Falk 13 of 27. 6 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the fourth quarter there. 1:43 to go in the first half in Salt Lake. And 7:09 to go in the third quarter in Los Angeles. Falk on a 2nd down and 10, trailing by 12. Dumps that one off near side, and that's incomplete. Yeah, Takeda, St. Louis taking care of business thus far today. Mike Denali with his 4th tackle. Trying to stay ahead of New York, who takes on Dallas this evening. That pass is caught by Dalton Brown, and Minnesota up to the 44-yard line. There's a fumble, and it is picked up by Salt Lake. Adam Wiseman is stripped, sacked, and the Hornets have a first down. Let's take another look at it. Lou Marks there again for Salt Lake, unclaimed, ripping the football out of the hands of Adam Wiseman. It seemed to hang out there forever, and the Hornets make a play just before the first half. Henson, you can get more than one, but you just have to get it across both cards. And, yeah. Deep shot, Koizumi. That ball is incomplete. This is Doug Falk, deep, incomplete. Now it's 4th and 21. Jay Carter drops to throw. That pass is caught. Salt Lake's got the ball at the Chicago 32 with a minute to go. By the way, 1 is off the board, folks. I meant to put that number up earlier, but missed it. 1 is off the board. It was a Karen Koizumi 1-yard touchdown run. So Rob only needs 32 now, and Henson needs 12. Number 12, Doug Falk throwing on 4th and 21, and it is picked off. Joshua Durr with the interception, and Aurora Ingram with the pick 6. And the Flyers, with 4:45 to go, appear to be holding on to victory. But I say that with caution because, remember, Rochester had a 13-point lead on New Orleans with under 5 minutes to go and lost the game. Salt Lake on the move. Down to the 13. There's a timeout called. 17 seconds left. Delro, 14 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown this afternoon. Ernest needs 32 and 2. Uh, 30 has not been called. 2nd and 5. 17 seconds to go in the first half. Back to pass, Carter. That's a first down to the, well, hold on a minute, because the receiver bounced back. No, they're going to give him forward progress at the 6. Timeout Salt Lake. They got 1 timeout remaining. 3rd down and 1 for St. Louis. They're still up 31-3 with 3:36 to go in the 3rd quarter. LA has not made much progress in that one. Karen Koizumi on a play-action rollout, going to dump it off into the flat, but LA is going to get the stop. And now it's 4th down. Wichita will have to punt with 3:37 to go. 10 seconds to go in the first half for Salt Lake. Carter's ball is caught, but it's well short of the end zone. So Salt Lake's going to have to take the points here. It'd be a 20-yard field goal. That would be a new number off the board. Wichita's got a punt. Let's go. All right, let's go back to Salt Lake. 2nd and goal at the 3. For Carter. Carter dropping a throw. Carter going to throw. Wide open. Touchdown. So they don't kick a 20-yard field goal. Instead, it's Ryan with the catch. And Salt Lake gets aggressive and takes the lead before the end of the first half. So if ever you're wondering why teams do that, well, hindsight is 20/20, but a touchdown feels pretty good in that spot as well. So St. Louis had to punt the ball away. LA gets the ball back. Wiseman still with 3 picks, or check that, Shanahan still with 3 picks, 171 yards. Salt Lake gets the touchdown just before the break, but it's a 3-yard score. Makes it 14-10, no new numbers. Hornets take the lead, though. Trying to start a win streak just before the postseason. New Wheel 42 says, how can I join this league? Right there at the bottom. Join the UFL Discord. Be in the know on league operations. Click the link in the description, or you can visit our website at youfl.football and join the community from there. Claim your player. LA's receiver got popped and fumbled, but Al Ingram there quickly to recover. The website is mostly up to date, but if you join in the player claim section and you see that someone recently has claimed the player that you want, then obviously don't claim that. But New Wheel 42 just in time for the playoffs coming up starting Thursday, July 23rd. Everybody's in and everybody's got a shot as we hit the end of the first half in Salt Lake. St. Louis and Los Angeles 31-3 with 1:15 to go in the third, but the Rivermen have kind of taken the pedal off the gas. Minnesota trying to convert on third down and 10, 26-14. They failed to do so. And now it'll be fourth down for the Chippers with 2:01 to go. Yeah, Takeda, all 3 picks for St. Louis by Slim Diaz in the first half. He had 1 the entire season.
Ready? 18 Gator. Check 56. Check right, check.
Second down and 6 yards to go.
Shoot.
It's a big button on our website,
Let's go.
New Wheel.
Let's go.
Just hit that join the community button.
Go. 50. Plant.
As McKay Breeze has a first down catch for LA to the St. Louis 37-yard line. Minnesota failed on the fourth down chance, and now they'll start calling timeouts in a 2-score game.
You got him. You got him. You got him.
Start of the second half, and Salt Lake will get the football after scoring that touchdown. LA's got a first down. That is Al Ingram, now 67 yards on 11 carries into the third quarter. 31-3. Rivermen still all over LA, but LA is driving. Second down and 8 for Wichita. 1:51 to go as Minnesota is exhausting their timeouts. Coming up, it is on Coast to Coast, Phoenix at Miami with Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith, followed by New York at Dallas, the big one this week. That is Tyler Falk and Josh Zirkle on that call. And LA's in the red zone. That's Henderson with the catch. Third down and 6 for Wichita. One more first down will ice things in Minnesota, and Delro picks it up and that much more. So Minnesota gets nothing from their offense today, but they hung in there. Hung in there in the game for sure, but Wichita is going to snap their 4-game losing streak. And now the longest losing streak belongs to Rochester at just 2 games. Wichita will improve to 7-8. If Chicago were to lose, the Flyers would get the 4 seed and a first-round bye. Although distantly separated from the top 3 in the East, Dallas, New York, and St. Louis. Third down and 11 for LA at the 17-yard line of St. Louis. That one is caught at the 8. 4th and 2. And I think if you're LA, you got to go for this with 11:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Wichita playing out the stretch. They may not be able to completely run this clock out.
Ready, set.
Well, well, they did end up throwing it. There's a flag on the play. If that's on them, they definitely won't be. Jesse says, not seeing the Hugo link. LA just turned it over on downs. Are all the cards claimed? Nope. It's in the UFL Bingo channel, where it always is, Jesse. Still have time to claim your card. Let's see. That is a kneel down for Wichita. And Vegas and Minnesota continue their fall. Out west, both are 3-12. And they have a combined 11-game losing streak. It has been tough sledding out there. Wiseman is sacked again. I tell you what, the Salt Lake defensive front having their day. And St. Louis's defense coming up with that stop in the red zone, keeping it a 31-3 game with 10:40 to go in the fourth quarter. This is a 42-yard field goal for Wichita at the horn. That kick is good, and 29 comes off the board on the final play of the game. So a new number on the final play of the game in Wichita. If you needed 29, that is one of the wildest ways to get it, as the Flyers go to 7-8 and Minnesota drops to 3-12. 3rd down and 1 for Koizumi. That is a horrible ball. And St. Louis just looks like they want to get on the plane. 9:42 to go in the 4th quarter. Wichita outscores Minnesota 12-0 in that second half. It was just a 3-point game at halftime. LA, nice punt return here up to the 36. Peter needs a 46 and a 25 now. Jay Carter, 17-21, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Pretty good day for Carter, who was called trash by one of his receivers in the locker room this week. Although I think it was tongue-in-cheek, just a joke, perhaps. Shanahan up to the 41-yard line. I guess so, Flash. Yeah, it's been pretty quiet, although LA has not put up much of a fight here in this second half either. Jay Carter going to take off and run, but he doesn't really have a lot of room to roam as Parker makes the play. Shanahan flips the 41s. That's a pickup of 18 yards. Muhammad another catch, his 5th for 47. And LA into St. Louis territory under 9 to play. Ray needs 23 now. What did she need? She needed 29 and 23 earlier.
Here we go. Set. 60 orange.
Man, I got you.
There's your numbers.
And go.
As Carter drops to throw. Shanahan now on 2nd down and 1. 8:36 to go in the 4th quarter. That pass is caught by Muhammad down to the 14-yard line. Shanahan now 27 of 40, 267 yards and 3 picks. Sudo has 4 bingos on 1 card, but he needs another bingo on the other card. Wow. Salt Lake punts it away. 2nd and 4 at the 8-yard line for LA. They are in the no huddle. 7:56 to go in the 4th quarter, and a sack. Rodick with the takedown. For the Rivermen, 3rd sack of the day for St. Louis, none for Los Angeles today. Jason Williams on the run for Chicago, trailing by 4. Shanahan 3rd and 12 from the 16-yard line. That is caught. Touchdown. 16 already off the board, but that's Henderson with the score. 7:34 to go in the 4th. And LA keeps things just a bit interesting. Just Wiseman's 2nd incompletion. It's 3rd down and 4 with 7:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Extra point for LA is good. 31-10 now, 7-play, 64-yard drive. Wiseman is sacked again. That is Nixon's 2nd sack, and I don't know how many sacks Salt Lake has, but it's got to be at least 5. Salt Lake 6th in the league coming in with 37 sacks, but they are owning Chicago's offensive front. Flash. Not a Riverman game if we don't let the opposing team make it closer in the 4th for no reason. Long way to go for LA. Rivermen still up 21. Salt Lake will get the ball back after a tremendous job by their defensive front. They're up 14-10. They took that lead just before the half.
Let's go, D.
Hand off in the backfield, and LA blows that up. It's a loss of 4 on the play. Jay Carter now 20 of 24 for 171 yards for Salt Lake. 154 passing yards. Sauce K, 3 catches, 27 yards. Second down and 14 for St. Louis. Oh, Jay Carter had no chance. Parker with a sack. Oh my goodness, Koizumi just threw an interception. Well, now it's getting interesting. Mark Rogers with the pick. And she just floated that out into no man's land. That one just flew right out of her hands. I mean, I think she's trying to check it down to Maldonado. She just let it. That looked like the Norway free kick from the goalie. That the ball just changed direction dramatically, and now LA has it in scoring position. No way, right? I mean, there's no way. 6:58 to go in the fourth. Shanahan dropping a throw. He will fire to the sideline. That's caught. Will stop the clock momentarily. 293 yards for Shanahan. Bazaar's 7th for 75. Fourth down for Salt Lake, and they'll have to punt it away. Defense is reigning supreme in the third quarter over there. Shanahan's pass incomplete, third down. Third down and 6, 6:43 to go in the fourth. Roll out Shanahan, dropping a throw, fires it into the back of the end zone, and it's picked. Duncan the second with the interception for St. Louis, and that should wipe away LA's very faint hopes. The fourth Ronnie Shanahan interception of the day, and I believe the third in the red zone. For Shanahan, he had just 9 picks coming into the game. That was the fewest in the UFL, but now up to 13, and he's tied for 6th fewest in the SFL. And Joe Francis is your new clubhouse leader and the lowest interceptions category with 10. Koizumi going to go play action fake, and she threw another pick. Oh my gosh. My head. That one intercepted by Marquez Williams, who jumped in front of the pass, and LA's got the ball back. Well, okay. Shanahan back at it. Meanwhile, in Salt Lake, 2:55 to go in the third quarter. It's 14-10, and the Dragons are in Hornet territory. Shanahan drops that off into the flat, and that's a loss. I don't think CPU assist is on, Takeda, because I don't even know what that is. I agree. Hands on face. That's the second time today that's happened. Shanahan to the corner. That is caught at the 9, first down. 6:09 to go in the fourth quarter. First and goal. That's Henderson's 6th catch. DJ thinks he has a bingo card 74 vertical, but you would need a card. You would need the same vertical on the opposite card, DJ. So you would need one on 73 as well in the same column.
On the ball! On the ball!
And 73. Oh, you do have straight down the middle. That is a catch for LA. Touchdown, McKay Breeze. DJ, you are correct. You do have a bingo. Nice of you to show up late, but hey, you still got your winnings. He does have it on 2 cards, right down the middle on both of them. So I don't know if you knew that, DJ, but that's hilarious because you totally do. So DJ Kilgannon's got the bingo. LA has got a 9-yard touchdown and 17 off the board. No new numbers there. But they do have a 14-point game with 6:02 to go. There's still plenty of time in Los Angeles. There was also a field goal from Chicago from 55 yards out, and it makes it 14-13. Oh, no, he missed it. He stoinked it off the right upright. So Chicago misses the kick off the right upright. Don't often see that. And it remains 14-10 Salt Lake with 1:45 to go in the third quarter. Well, okay, St. Louis, you might have to perk up here a little bit. This game was 31-0 at the half. It's now 31-17. Koizumi has thrown back-to-back interceptions in her own territory. 428 to 358 in total yards in favor of St. Louis. Jay Carter's pass is incomplete. That's another Chicago stop. Neither team has done anything in the third quarter offensively. Toss to McCray. McCray, first down to the 40, up to the 42-yard line. All of St. Louis is saying the same thing, but no one feels bad for them because they've won 8 of their last 10 games. But obviously, and on a serious note, it could certainly be a problem in the playoffs, especially when you're playing some of the top-tier talent in the league. And LA is certainly a formidable opponent, although they're only 2-5 at home this season. I'm just saying, most people in the league would kill to be 11-3 right now. And right now, St. Louis still has a 2-touchdown advantage. 5:13 to go. Handoff to McCray on first down. He's got 169 yards on 21 carries. And that will dip the clock under 5 minutes to go, as the clock is now the biggest enemy of the Aztecs. 200 to 168 in total yards in favor of Chicago. That's not a lot of offense. Koizumi taking off on 2nd down and 9. She'll slide short. St. Louis's 3rd down and short offense has been a problem in the second half. We've seen a number of 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s turn into play-action passes that have not been effective. A scoreless third quarter has wrapped up in Salt Lake. It's still 14-10 Hornets. That touchdown they got at the end of the first half. This is a run on 3rd down and 3 for St. Louis, and McCray is dropped. 4th and 2 at midfield. And now the question becomes, should St. Louis go for it, as Wiseman's got a first down for Chicago as they try to go and take the lead on this drive. What would you do? 4th down and 2 at midfield. St. Louis is going to punt and make LA go the length of the field. 3:36 to go in the fourth quarter. As LA gets the stop, this is a pretty good punt. Although it is drifting into the end zone, it will be a touchback out at the 20. So LA with 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. That was almost a fumble. That ball was actually knocked out. That's the second time we've seen that today. Dan Taylor actually knocked the ball out of Kadir Boyd's hands, but he was out of bounds already. 2nd down and 3 for Chicago. look at it again, the lower left-hand corner of your screen. The fumble happens right there, but it actually, I do think that was a fumble. The ball just rolled out of bounds. Look at Dan Taylor trying to punch the football out there.
Faster!
No huddle offense here for Los Angeles. 3:10 to go in the fourth quarter. And that is a completion for Shanahan, but they got to get up to the ball quick. That's just a 5-yard pickup. 3rd down and 1 coming up for Chicago. Down by 4 with 10:40 to go in the fourth quarter.
Go, Rocket, come on!
58, boy, 58, 58, Mike.
Fight!
Ingram's 8th grab. Shanahan, bottom of the screen. That is caught. Did not get out of bounds. Excellent tackle by Colin Douglas. Muhammad's 7th catch for 67 yards, 235 and counting. Wiseman to the far sideline. That is caught to the 39. 10:17 to go in the fourth quarter. This is Shanahan. That pass is complete. Got the first down, but these dinks and dunks from Los Angeles are not going to get him anywhere fast. 37 of 52 as St. Louis is keeping everything in front of them, down to 2:12 to go in the fourth quarter.
Hey, let's go, get set!
Check.
They'll get one more play off before the 2-minute warning, down to 2:04. Shanahan, sideline, caught at the 38 and out of bounds with 2:01 to play. McKay Breeze gets to 100 yards, and LA will get another play before the 2-minute warning. All right. Chicago on a 2nd and 10, 9:50 to go in the fourth. Wiseman taking a deep shot, and the receiver ran to the pylon, incomplete. 1st and 10, Shanahan fires far side. That is caught. 1st down to the 27-yard line. And it stops the clock. There is going to be a booth review, though. 9:43 to go in the fourth. Oh, broken tackle. Nice play by the Dragons down to the 26-yard line. The 7-7 Chicago Dragons, winners of 6 of their last 10 games. They started the season 1-3. Trying to hold off Wichita for the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. They trail by 4. And they have a first down. Salt Lake at 5-9. They're trying to catch Phoenix.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
They would need a Phoenix loss tonight against Miami. 1:55 to go in the fourth quarter. This is Shanahan, who just takes a check down, and Ingram wisely dropped it. Wiseman's pass caught and down to the 19-yard line. Chicago knocking on the door with 9:21 to go in the fourth. 2nd and 10, Shanahan fires, caught, broken tackle. St. Louis going for the strip, fumble, and they can't get it. Down to the 20-yard line. 20 is still a number we don't have on the board today. 1:35 to go in the fourth quarter.
Hurry!
No huddle offense for Los Angeles. Wiseman on 2nd down and 8. Fires, that's caught. Broken tackle down to the 8-yard line, and Shanahan's pass to the end zone overthrown. The game of telephone in the chat right now is painful to watch. 1:26 to go in the fourth. 31-17 St. Louis on top of LA. Handoff on 4th and 2. That converts the first down. 10-second runoff. Ingram 74 yards on 13 carries. That's Will Todd's 6th tackle. Time ticking away on Los Angeles, down to the 13-yard line. Wiseman's at the 7. Shanahan's again. Ingram down to the sideline, down to the 7. Could not get out of bounds. Both teams now at the 7. LA down by 14. Chicago down by 4. 45 seconds to go for Los Angeles. Shanahan looking, and it's incomplete. This is Wiseman, 2nd and goal from the 7. The cleanest pocket you could ever ask for, but it breaks down, and he holds on to it way too long again. Another sack, the 2nd for Joe Malone, and it's 3rd and goal at the 18-yard line. Sacks killing Chicago. Shanahan, touchdown from 7 yards out. It's an 8-point game. It took LA a little while, but it is a one-score game now. 24 unanswered in the second half. Fighting off, if you can believe it, Slim Diaz, who had 3 interceptions in the first half. Fancher the second with the score. No new numbers. Extra point is good. And on 3rd down and goal, they just run it to Swift. 4th and goal. The Salt Lake defense is fired up. That's going to force a 35-yard field goal for Chicago, and that won't be any new numbers. I'm assuming they'll go for it. It's just a 4-point game. 37 seconds left and all 3 timeouts. LA could get an onside kick. They also could get 3 straight stops and get the ball back. The 35-yard field goal for Chicago is good. The onside kick for LA. And a bouncing ball is recovered by St. Louis. Oh, that was close. Mark making... Well, I can't say it was a sure bet because I saw the onside kick recovery before he did. But even still, St. Louis needs a first down because LA somehow still has held on to all 3 of their timeouts. Handoff, McCray. Nothing. Timeout, LA. With Chicago's field goal, they make it 14-13. Ray will give a $20 super chat for the number 23, which has eluded her all afternoon. Jay Carter just 6 of 9 for 22 yards passing in the first half. Chicago actually has 263 yards to Salt Lake's 168. Yet Salt Lake is still winning the game. Timeout Los Angeles. They have 1 remaining. That pass is caught over the middle for New Orleans for a first down. Demond, you got to make note of your game code. It gives it to you every week. I don't have your game code. Sorry, buddy. Chris Allure to the 49 of Chicago. Actually, Damon, I do have, I can check for you. You were cards 67 and 57 and 58. So I can check to see if you're a winner. How we doing, General Gaming? You've got a horizontal on the 2nd and a vertical on the 5th, Damon. You would need a 50. You would need the number 50 for a bingo right now. And St. Louis just got a first down, and that's a wrap. Whoa. So the Rivermen hold on to win 31-24. They score all 31 points in the first half, and LA scores all 24 of their points in the second half. A bizarre game in LA. The Aztecs will fall to 7-8, but a pretty good showing by LA in the second half. Phoenix and Miami comes your way first. New York and Dallas follows. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith have the first game, and Josh Zirkle and Tyler Falk have the second. We're down to 4:35 to go in the fourth quarter in Salt Lake. They've got 32 passes to just 8 runs today, and Chicago, when they were in most need of a stop, have not gotten that stop, although it is third down coming up for Salt Lake. They are 17 yards away. It'd be a 34-yard field goal from here, so no new numbers there. Carter on a 3rd down and 7 takes a check down. That gets us to the 16-yard line, but we still have a 33 off the board. 3.5 to go. Chicago does get their half stop, though. A touchdown could win it for the Dragons here to close out the Gauntlet. This a 33-yard field goal to make it 17-13. 3:10 to go in the 4th quarter in the final game of the Gauntlet today. And now we see if Chicago can pull the comeback or if Salt Lake will win their 2nd in a row. General Gaming playing a UMass dynasty. If you follow the VFN Twitch channel, we do a similar thing, rebuilding horrible teams and dynasties. That'll start after the SFL convention next month. Three minutes and 7 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Does Chicago have it in them? 263 to 225 yards is the yards advantage today for the Dragons. Back to throw. Wiseman's pass is in and out of the hands. You know who's been really quiet since that first catch? Kay Marion. Salt Lake's done a pretty good job on her today. Well, field goal is probably unlikely because Chicago needs a touchdown to win. Wiseman into the flat. That is not a good play. Just a 2-yard catch to Williams. 3rd down and 8 coming up. The Dragons have all 3 of their timeouts. It is a hot one here in Utah. Down to the wire. Wiseman to throw against a 3-man rush. They still almost got there. Wiseman's jump ball is caught at the 49-yard line. And that is Kay Marion. Her 4th catch for 112 yards, and Chicago will get another playoff. Well, no, actually, they're going to slow it up. They might not get another playoff before the 2-minute warning. That's a heck of a catch. On Trevante James. 17-13. Oh, yeah, Rob, you needed that 32, didn't you? 17-13. Salt Lake on top of Chicago. The Dragons are at midfield. Both teams want to win down the stretch. Wiseman near sideline. Caught again at the 28. And it's Marion again. She is absolutely clutch. Plenty of time here for Chicago with 1:55 to play. Yeah, no kidding, right, Ray? My goodness.
Ready, ready. 18 Gators.
1:55 to go. Clock stopped. Ball at the Salt Lake 28. Wiseman dropping a throw. Wiseman is sacked again. Lou Marks is 4th, and he now leads the UFL in sacks. Salt Lake has 9 sacks today.
Hurry, hurry.
No huddle for Chicago. We don't have our team records operating for most sacks in a game by a team this season. But that is 9 for Salt Lake today. 3rd and 18. Wiseman deep down the middle. Incomplete. A bouncing ball is almost picked off. And now it's 4th down and 18. Salt Lake familiar with the close calls. Beat San Diego by 5 last week in an upset. There's Byam. Buttrico almost picked it off his kneecap after the deflection. 4th and 18, Chicago. Salt Lake's last 3 games decided by 1 score. Wiseman hits it. It's incomplete. Oh, that was a moment for Chicago. All 3 timeouts still left for the Dragons. It's not over yet. That was a pretty good ball from Adam Wiseman, and it just was not to be. Down the middle of the field, a big-time hit. And that is Brooke O'Neal with the hit. Jay Carter, a clean game. And now Salt Lake needs just 1 first down, and they will win 2 in a row. Handoff Allure, he got it. And now with the math, I'm actually not sure that it would be a win. See what the math says. Or an automatic win, I should say. What a wild day on the Gauntlet. I tell you, we've had a couple of snoozers as of late, but this was a bounce back Gauntlet today, folks. We had some nail biters all across the league for the most part. Outside of Wichita pulling away from Minnesota in the second half. We're down to 57 seconds left. It's 2nd down. Another first down will certainly seal it for Salt Lake. Handoff Allure didn't get it. Timeout Chicago, 3rd down. Rob is desperate. Desperate for that last number. After Robert Henson got his bingo, it kind of dried up out there in terms of numbers. 3rd down and 5. They'll just take a knee. That's a little bit surprising there from Salt Lake. They don't even try to get the first down. And they will punt it back to Chicago. They'll have, I guess, a small glimmer of hope. This punt will bounce inside the 10. Oh, now it's a really small glimmer of hope. Down to the 4 with 14 seconds left. Perfectly done there by the Hornets. So Salt Lake's on a win streak. Salt Lake has the 2nd longest winning streak in the Western Conference right now at 2 games. Wiseman out of his own end zone, looking for a miracle. Not going to get it there, although the ball bounced around quite a bit. We have seen a Hail Mary delivered once before in UFL history. It was the old Denver Avengers. It can happen. Wiseman, 3 seconds, out of his own end zone. Somebody's got to answer the prayer. Bouncing ball, incomplete. Salt Lake's won 2 in a row. Cue the outro. Here's your wrap-up and your final scores from today. Dakota does it again. They hold on to beat Vegas 16-13. Rochester throws the game away in the final minute. A stunner as New Orleans comes back from 13 down in the fourth quarter to win 28-27. Minnesota down just 3 at the half. Had all defense and special teams, but no offense today, and Wichita pulled ahead and pulled away 29-14, and coupled with a Chicago loss, moves back to 4th place in the Eastern Conference. St. Louis scored 31 points in the first half, none in the second. LA scored no points in the first half, 24 in the second, and St. Louis got the win. 31-24, and then finally Salt Lake and Chicago, neither team scored a touchdown in the first half or in the second half, but Salt Lake held on to win thanks to Brooke O'Neal's deflection in the end zone and their Hail Mary defense. The Hornets now 6-9. Chicago falls to 7-8. Coming up on Coast to Coast tonight, it's Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith with the Phoenix Skyhawks and Miami Pirates, who are both 6-8, as Miami tries to keep pace with Wichita and Chicago, while Phoenix tries to hold off Salt Lake in the 5 spot and catch San Diego and LA in the top 4. New York at Dallas with Josh Zirkle and Tyler Falk. That features 2 of the top 3 teams in the East, both still chasing St. Louis after their win today. Dallas goes for a head-to-head sweep of St. Louis and New York. They also have a win over Dakota this year. Don't forget Monday night, San Diego and Austin, the pass-happy Lone Stars, the run-hungry Wildcats. Should be a great one between 2 top offenses in the UFL. For all of us at the UFL, I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Game Day Gauntlet on the Virtual Football Network. We'll see you back here in about an hour for Phoenix and Miami, kicking off from Florida. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody.